If you use social media a lot and you're going through any sort of immigration process, then this video could help you save your immigration process. Hello, I'm attorney Lee Marvin and I specialize in immigration law. I've been practicing for over 20 years and specializing in immigration for more than a decade. I'm coming to you from my main office in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but I do help people nationwide from any state in the country and really any country on the planet. So if you have questions or need any help with individual or family immigration, give me a call. So I had a client that was looking to going from a student visa to legal permanent resident, and he had a big problem. He had a big problem with his social media account, something he never considered, okay? So not only did this problem, a major problem, not only did it prevent him from getting a green card, but it actually prevented him from re-entering the country after he left for spring break to Mexico. He got stuck outside the country and he was never going to be able to return to the United States again. He had to drop out of his university program and it pretty much turned his life upside down. So social media is a big deal, okay? Now, the stuff they found on his social media was a big deal. So in a way, it probably wasn't a bad thing that this happened, at least to other people in the country. But to him, it completely ruined his life and what he was doing in his life. So the question is, what do you do? Okay? So most of my clients had these two questions, or have these two questions when I talk about this topic. One, why does the government do this? And two, to what extent can they have access to your social media? Okay, so the why is easy. Okay, number one, to find out if there's any discrepancies between your filing and your real life. Okay, so discrepancies, false statement, fraud. They want to see if you're a liar and if you're committing immigration fraud. If you are, they want to catch you, okay? And that's kind of what this process is all about, okay? So, two, they want to determine basically if you're a security risk, a threat to national security, to people in the United States, okay? How do they do that? They're looking for information about your ties professionally and personally, in your social media to see who you associate with and whether that is a risk to the United States, okay? So a third way they use this information is to see if you've engaged in activities that violate immigration law. A common example, someone who works without authorization. So if somebody is not supposed to work, like on a tourist visa, for example, but your social media has posts that they analyze and it looks like you actually do work, well, then that is a no-no. That violates immigration law, and they absolutely can and will use that against you, okay? So that's the why. They want to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to. How much can they gain access to, okay? So the easy answer is as much as they want, okay? There are limits to how they go about doing this stuff, but if they want access to information, they're darn well going to get it, because guess what? They can always just deny your request. They ask you for access to stuff, and if you say no, well, guess what? We can't analyze your situation, and we're done. Denied, okay? So theoretically, they can have access to anything, but in reality, it's tough to do that. So where do they go? Low-hanging fruit. All publicly available information on your profile they can get access to. So it just takes a little bit of time for the agent to look at your social media. And in certain types of immigration processes, specifically through the State Department, they ask you for your account names, okay? So they just do a search and they just look through your stuff and they analyze it, okay? So it's not that surprising. So I've done videos in the past and I've counseled clients to be careful and to clean up their profiles, because these things can and will destroy your ability to move forward with your immigration. So I will tell you here, I'll talk a little bit below about ways that you can do that, okay? So again, like I said, theoretically, they can access virtually anything. It's not very practical for them to do it, so they don't normally do that unless they have a reason to believe that they need to, okay? So I will say that reports are more and more that the Biden administration is doing more of these sorts of requests for additional information way beyond the scope of what has ever been looked at. Because honestly, there's got to be a balance between the crisis at the border and the tens of thousands or even more people that the Biden administration is allowing into the United States. They got to balance it somehow. So what do? They make it more difficult on people applying for legal immigration because the people that aren't here entering legally, they've got to figure out how to strike that balance. So they're doing a lot more of these, what I think is a little bit sneaky, and looking at things justifying to cancel or to deny requests, okay? So that's the why and that's the how, okay? So if you want to avoid serious problems with your profile, then there's 3 things you need to do immediately to stop this. But first, I want to ask you to do me a favor. I want you to click the subscribe button and the alert notification so you get notified of future videos about this and other very important topics. You will not regret it, okay? So what are the 3 tips? 3 tips. 1, review all your social media profiles to see if there's any harmful posts that should be edited or deleted, okay? Too easy. 2, do a Google search of yourself to see what stuff comes up. Review that information, see if there's any bad stuff, see if there's any erroneous stuff that really isn't true, isn't you or whatever. Look at that profile. 3, which is probably the most important, check your privacy settings and change your settings to the most private setting you're comfortable with or you want, because this will go a long way to keep the snoops out of USCIS, out of your business, your life, and will protect you for the future. So if you have any questions about immigration, you can always reach out to me by clicking the link below so I can help you with your process. Good luck to you, and give me a call if you have any questions.